Happy weekend, everyone. I'm running behind on my recordings here. So I just recorded last week's blog, and now I'm going to do this week's blog that I just did and just literally experienced this earlier today. So let me get started on this one. So the blog that I wrote is called A New Car and a Lesson in Human Nature. And it just came to me because of all that had happened. So I had posted this picture, which might be on the cover of this video on YouTube. I'm not sure yet. I will see if it works. Sometimes I'm not good at it. Okay, so I said I recently shared a post, and there was a picture of my old electric Mustang Mach-E, and it said, so I shared a post saying goodbye to my Mustang Mach-E and hello to my new 2026 Tesla. That was it. It was really, I went on, and I do this for my mom because she goes on Facebook. So I post it on Instagram and then it goes over to Facebook. What I forget is that it also goes to Threads, which I really never go on unless I get notifications, and then I can't stand to have building notifications. So I go on and I look, but I don't really look at anything. I just do it to make that red notification thing stop, because I don't let my email build up. I don't like to have too many notifications. I have to get rid of them. So that's why I go into Threads. I wish I knew how to get rid of it because it is a negative platform. Anyway, so back to the story. So I posted, and that was it. That's all I was just trying to kind of give my friends an update. That's it. I don't feel like many people see my post. Hey, are you on my wall? Why are you on my wall? Why would you do that? Sorry, my dog. Come here. My German dog. You'll understand in a second. Anyway, so I posted that picture of the Tesla, and I was called a Nazi. I was called dumb, and there were plenty of other very, very entertaining comments on there. And I could feel the anger. Like, why are these people getting so angry at somebody they don't even know who posted a picture of a car? I wasn't trying to make a political statement. I wasn't trying to persuade anyone. I wasn't endorsing a billionaire or an administration or an ideology or a movement. I was just really updating my friends and family on a life, much like people post pictures of vacations, grandchildren, puppies, which I've done. Not the grandchildren thing, but all the other kitchen remodels. You've watched me do that and build a house. So this is just yet another thing. I just posted a picture of my son getting engaged. I'm glad I didn't show the ring, because that might be, another political something or other. I have no idea. I'm not political. Instead, I evoked verbal violence. I mean, it was crazy. I wrote it fast. What fascinated me wasn't that people disagreed with my choice. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. What fascinated me was how many complete strangers felt compelled to share those opinions with such certainty and intensity. Really crazy. Oops. For some context, my husband, Rich, works for, and I never know how to explain this, so this is kind of it might be wrong, but this is the only way I can explain it. He works in the energy industry. His work includes electric vehicle charging infrastructure, pipelines, power systems, and the complicated reality of moving energy around the country, if that helps. Long before Tesla entered our garage, we bought a Mustang Mach-E, which I just told you. To be honest, I never thought I would own an electric car. If you had asked me 8 years ago, I would have been like, I'm cool with my car. But then I drove one, and it was so much fun. I took road trips. I learned how charging worked in the wild. It was scary at first. We did the tail of the dragon. My friend Leanne and I went on a road trip. We went to Greenville and Charlotte and tooled around up there and figured out how to find charging in those type of cities. And then My mom and I drove all the way to Missouri to watch my son in a lacrosse tournament, and we left from Huntsville, and it had been a snowstorm. And if you know anything about electric cars, in the cold, the doesn't hold the charge, and we had some really scary moments. We got to some chargers with 8 miles left to drive with charge. And also back then, only 5 years ago, there weren't that many chargers, and they didn't all work very well. So the system was still very, very young. So there was a learning curve, but it was fun. The car was fast, handled the corners beautifully, and there was something incredibly convenient. Well, it or is still to this day very convenient about plugging in at home. So you wake up every morning with a full tank per se. It's amazing. I never have to go to a gas station unless I'm going in to get a snack. So we stop at Buc-ee's and Walmart all the time, as many times as we can. That's where we go because there's chargers there. You can go in and get a snack, go to the bathroom, walk around. It feels so good to just walk, and then you're not like walking around the parking lot. You can go in the store and shop. Does that make me an anti-gas car? We have a Jeep. We drive it all the time. We love our Jeep. Does that make me pro electric car? No, it doesn't. I just happen to really like it, and it is nice. So it made me a pro whatever works for me, or whatever Rich is willing to buy for me. Just kidding. No, but since he's the one who makes most of the money, and he's like, ooh, the Tesla is the most practical because he's really good at researching and he takes his time. Like this whole Tesla purchase, we've been talking about for at least 6 months. So, and I just let him brew on it, and then he's like, I can't take it anymore. We need to make the switch. So when he suggested replacing my car, we talked about it the same way couples discuss major purchases. We considered the options. We discussed the pros and cons. We looked at practicality. We looked at cost. We looked at technology, what would fit with our lifestyle. Eventually, we landed on a Tesla because it's been around for a long time. All the kinks have been worked out. There's Tesla chargers all over the place. These are many of the cons, I guess. It's not the most expensive one. It's not the cheapest one. It's the one that made sense for us. Apparently, however, that decision meant strangers on the internet suddenly knew everything about me, my politics, virtually non-existent, by the way, my values. I think my values are pretty good. My intelligent, actually better than I thought, and better than you think. Emotionally intelligent, yes. My morals maybe could use some work sometimes. Other times, they're great. My character, I've built it well, but I'm always learning. It's amazing what people can infer from a photograph of a car. What really surprised me wasn't the criticism itself. It was the assumption that a consumer purchase must automatically be a declaration of allegiance. Somewhere along the way, we stopped allowing people to simply like things. Remember when we used to be able to do that? We didn't get canceled. A car isn't always a political statement. A cup of coffee isn't always a political statement. A pair of shoes isn't always a political statement. Sometimes a car is just a car. Sometimes a post is just a post, by the way. And sometimes a woman in her 50s is simply excited about a new vehicle and wants to show her mom, her in-laws, and a few friends that she was directing it to, not remembering that the whole wide world could see. And normally doesn't, I looked at the rest of my posts on this Threads, 0 comments, by the way, maybe 1 or 2 likes. Like I'm pretty basic, boring. You know what I mean? And I post one picture, this one. If I need to market anything like my book, maybe I just need to put a picture of myself with my books. Although maybe you wouldn't buy it because I'm a Nazi apparently. Anyway, so I was just trying to post a picture of my car to show my mom because I know she goes on Facebook. My in-laws, they go on Facebook. That's it. No manifesto, no campaign speech, no hidden agenda, just a life update. The good news is that I wasn't upset by the comments. if anything, it was, I've been having so much fun replying, which this is where my morals comes in, because I'm being very sarcastic and silly. And I hope people are laughing because the comments are laughable. And I hope these people aren't serious. So the reactions say far more about the people posting than they did about me, except for when I replied, of course. But I do find myself asking one question: what are we doing? Why are we spending our time typing hatred into the comments? And I know we've all wondered this. We've all discussed this before. I've discussed this several times with my clients and my friends. Why are why? I love commenting on people's stuff, like encouraging people. Why would you write some hatred? Anyway, why would you go to a complete stranger? Are you that you're that like in need to get that out there? Like, do you really think that you're giving these people a lesson to learn, or are you trying to show how smart you are? Like, I don't get it. But anyway, I was just trying to share a happy moment. We've all become so busy evaluating and judging and sorting people into teams that we've forgotten how to simply be happy for someone else's happiness. How about that? Life is hard enough. We're all carrying things nobody else can see. Maybe we could allow each other a little bit more grace. And maybe, just maybe, we can let a middle aged woman enjoy her new car and leave it at that. But my challenge to you is, if you are feeling that urge, the next time you feel the urge to reply to a post that you hate, if you're one of these people, just try moving on. Like, close the app for a while. Go find a post from a friend later and leave an encouraging comment. And actually, their studies have shown that when you spread kindness, you feel happier yourself. It's true, look it up. Congratulate someone. Celebrate someone's success. Make somebody's day a little bit brighter. I have a feeling that you'll feel better afterward. Negativity is sticky. It clings to us more than we realize. It follows us from one post to the next, one conversation to another. And sometimes it's addicting. So be careful. Be careful out there where with that negativity. But maybe we don't need more outrage. Maybe we just need a little bit more kindness. And that's it. That's what I wrote. So I'm going to go now so I can go see all the other negative comments. And I'm going to give myself a couple of hours of this on and off. I'm not going to spend a long time in there, because even though I'm entertained by this negativity, it's still sticky. So be careful with those. Be careful reading. Be careful posting. Stick with the fun stuff. Go put puppies, unicorns, and rainbows on your on your feed. That's what you want to see, so you can stay happy. Stay safe out there, folks. Anyways, I will see you next week with hopefully another positive post or something. Anyway, yes, please feel free to follow, subscribe, and I really do appreciate you even spending time seeing some of this. Bye.